Hello and welcome to the Churros y Tácticas Podcast on a Wednesday. This should have come much earlier. I apologize. It should have been Monday, but I couldn't record. It should have been Tuesday. I couldn't record. It's my fault. Diego Lorijn has no blame at all here. It's my fault. I'm sorry. We're 2-3 days late. And I don't know if you guys remember, but there was La Liga like 2-3 days ago. I know like 2-3 days in football is a long time. It's in like... The cycle moves so quickly. We're already talking about international break. Endrick playing for Brazil. We're talking about Deco. We're talking about Deco's quotes recently about Victor Roque and other things. We're talking about Javier Tebas going at it, taking the guns out for Florentino, responding to Florentino's General Assembly speech. You know what we will remember, Diego? Real Madrid beat Valencia 4-0. And it was beautiful football. We remember those wins. No one will remember Barcelona's win. No one will remember that ugly football. But Real Madrid 4, Valencia 0. Did you see that? Like all those possession, all the short passing, all the beautiful possession that Real Madrid had. The passing, Johan Cruyff dancing in his grave watching that masterclass. Everyone will remember that, but no one will remember the ugly one that Barcelona had. Do you agree, Diego? Do you agree?
Again, coming at me with this tone of hostility, firing shots, dude, right off the get-go, and I thought we were going to have a pleasant conversation. Why you got to put me on the back foot like that? Yeah, the win was ugly, and yes, you had a nice win, and we're not just...
We didn't have that much possession, actually. I think Johan would be disappointed.
Okay, well, anyways...
Well, you know what I do?
How's your week going, buddy?
Great.
Okay?
How's your week? How's your week going?
Yeah, it's going good. It's going good. Keeping busy, you know. I'm to be honest, I'm still kind of like basking. Is that the right word I want to use?
Basking, yeah, in sunshine, in
the thrill of Friday's podcast. I think that was
yes.
You and I both agree that. I mean, if not the best, one of the best podcasts that Churros has ever done. Hugely enjoyed it. I'm happy to see that our patrons enjoyed as well. And, I should put out more snippets of that episode because it was an hour or nearly an hour and a half, hour and 20-something minutes. Orlandi was very generous with his time and just giving fascinating answers. Anybody that hasn't listened to it, go over to Patreon. And, Churros y Tácticas Patreon page /Churros y Tácticas to check it out, listen to it, watch it. It was a fascinating conversation with a great guy, but a great football mind as well. And I want to do more, man. It just made me hungry for more. I kind of pitched it to you. I guess we could kind of informally informally announce it. Churros e invitados. As a kind of like new, what do you call it, segment, series. I hope we can do many episodes. But yeah, I kind of put it out there. I don't know if you saw the tweet. I would like to hear from the community, see who they would like us to get on. I invite everybody to participate, be as wild and as ambitious as you want. I think eventually we can get anybody. And right now, we're going to continue. I had somebody in mind. I don't know if you want to, speak about it on air, but I have a string of people in mind, but I would like to keep this going. And if you don't want to miss out, go over patreon.com/Churros y Tácticas because they're our best podcasts that we're going to be putting out. And there's much more to come.
Yeah, I thought the Friday show, like if you're not a patron, I think you probably missed the best episode we've ever done on Friday. I really, really enjoyed it. Like, I know a lot of people tune into Churros y Tácticas to see us talk shit, but every now and then, Diego and I put our big boy pants and we have like intellectual discussions. And we talked everything from the use of data and analytics and scouting and La Fábrica, La Masia, different football philosophies, identities, Chavi, so many other things. And who better than Andrea Orlandi to join us and help us do that because he's brilliant. I mean, obviously, the fact that he used to play for Barca and Brighton and Swansea, but now, one of the most respected analysts on TV, whether it's DAZN or La Liga. He has his own scouting agency now that's tremendous work for. So it was awesome. I urge everyone to go listen to it. More guests, definitely. I think it's something that we have to do. I mean, we've been turning away so many guests. Like Sergio Ramos has tried to come on, Messi, Cristiano. We're like, you know what, guys? Unless you're like Kim Kardashian level famous, we might have to veto you out here. And but your time will come.
Somebody said get Gavi and Ceballos to come on. That would be fun.
That's great.
That would be in Spanish though, because I don't think I might be underestimating.
They don't have to speak
players. I don't know if they
Spanish to fight. We just put them in a room and give them each a weapon of choice.
Imagine a long form podcast that could get two players on, or athletes that have a genuine dislike for each other. I say that, but then again, if supposedly they hashed it out or they talked it out. They're from the same goddamn pueblo, for crying out loud, or nearby pueblos. And
I mean, they're also teammates.
But it would be fun. Could you imagine? Do you think we'll ever get to see Jordan and Pippen on, like, I don't know, a podcast?
No, because I think Jordan is just too secretive with his life. He doesn't appear on any TV, does nothing.
Right.
So
or maybe like a docu-series where him and Scottie sit down. I could see a Last Dance, 12 episodes of just Jordan and Scottie hashing it out or talking it out, and then talking about why, like, I would like to hear from Scottie why he has such a profound dislike, not to say hatred, towards Michael Jordan. One of the things that was so startling from the documentary, Kiyan, was when it came out and was admitted by Scottie himself. He didn't. I gotta word this, the right way. He didn't give his condolences to Michael Jordan for the passing of his father out of spite, basically. He didn't go up to Michael Jordan, and not until much, much later, if ever. I mean, and again, this was admitted by Scottie Pippen himself. He didn't give, didn't put an arm around Michael Jordan, didn't say sorry, didn't give his condolences out of sheer spite already at the time. Like, the man's envy of the greatest of all time runs deep, man. Like, can you imagine if your father passes away and, like, your main dude on the team, who Michael Jordan has always been super generous to. That's another thing. When have you ever heard a Michael Jordan interview and him not give praise to Scottie right off the bat, pick him as his number one team, say, I would never win any championships if it weren't for Scottie, advise him to sign that deal, try to get Scottie more money as well during his playing time, all this stuff. He's always been like a big brother to Scottie, and all Scottie's ever been is a little bitch, man.
Yeah, that's why I think with this particular one, the feud is only one way. I don't think Jordan feels like that kind of pettiness towards Pippen, the way Pippen does towards Jordan.
Pepe does to Pippen.
The word Pippy. Like, I think Jordan is, has said nothing but good stuff about Pippen publicly. I don't know, like behind the scenes, privately, I don't know if there's a different feeling.
He even said publicly that he doesn't condone this relationship between his son and Pippen's ex-wife. I mean,
I forgot about that, yeah. Well, look, we saw Shaq and Kobe hash it out publicly. I don't know. The thing is, like, there is a common denominator between, like, Jordan and Barkley, Jordan and Pippen, Jordan and Isaiah, where it's just like, there's a lot of people that don't like him, to be fair.
For sure. Well, Barkley Barkley has no issues with MJ.
It's
Charles
Jordan.
Barkley. Yeah, it was there. I mean, I'm on camp, Team Barkley,
true.
Team Chuck all day, because I feel like Jordan's being the petty one here, because he couldn't hear any criticism from people close to him when Barkley is there to analyze him in his job, in his profession as an owner in this case, which we can all admit now that Jordan ha fracasado. It's been a disaster. It's been a failure. Jordan as an owner of the Charlotte Bobcats Hornets has not succeeded, or has not turned that into a successful franchise. Having said that, I'm sure that he sold his stake at a crazy profit anyway. So from when he took it over, bought it, to selling it now, it's grown as an organization, just not met the expectations of somebody that is, widely hailed and considered the greatest of all time. So
yeah, I just don't like the fact that people get butthurt like that when they face criticism. And like the thing with, I'm sure that Barkley, there was nothing there that he said publicly that he wouldn't have said to MJ's face. So like, I don't know.
Exactly.
Sometimes like I think we interpret feedback as like this like vitriol hate. Like I saw this clip recently. I don't know if you saw. To be fair, this is in this particular case I kind of understand it, but Thomas Tuchel, he remembers everything that's said about him in the German media. And when he goes and gets interviewed by those, like, even if it's pitch side, like, for example, Lothar Matthäus, who has been very critical of him. And Tuchel, and it just makes it
Matthäus
really
is
awkward in the
critical
interview. What?
Lothar Matthäus is critical of everything and everyone.
Well, that's why, like, that particular case, I kind of understand it, because Matthäus, like, genius footballer, brilliant footballer, but after his football career,
pain in the ass,
for whatever reason, was not nearly as smart as a footballer as he was off the pitch. But like, I don't know, like, just like, I feel like in those situations, like, Tuchel like goes and he kind of just makes it really petty, and like he's like, I remember what you said about me, but like, as if the fact that, like, are we only allowed to say positive things in football analysis? Because isn't that what analysis is? Is like, we look at the good stuff, we look at the bad stuff, and we come to try to find some kind of analysis or answer to the best of our ability based on all the good things and bad things, and we put it towards the table, and that analysis changed. So like, if we say something about someone that's criticism one game, that doesn't mean that forever this is the truth. Right. It's just that next week, those things can improve, right? And so I sometimes, like, people get so mad about, like, analysis if it's not in agreement with, how much they love a player or a coach, or, it has to be, if you love someone, you put a halo around them, you don't criticize them. And if you hate someone, you can be hypercritical of them. It just doesn't work like that. And I think, like, some people just get so butthurt over these things sometimes, and, like, instead of just looking at the analysis.
I mean, like, to put that back to Jordan, I think, and we both agree clearly that he's being petty about it. It does bring up an interesting and kind of shift the focus to football. This is a football pod, and I know, funny enough, some people get irritated when we talk basketball. But anyways, we would do what we want. But to shift it
Churros,
back over to
everyone
football,
knows. Churros is anything. You have no idea what's around the corner. UFOs, basketball, could be anything.
There you go. Conspiracies. Chavi recently, or in the post-match rather, of Alaves Barça, Barça Alaves, I should say, when asked, I don't know how this was exactly posed. Mind you, I read the statements. I didn't see the back and forth between him and a journalist, but so I don't know in what context this was said. But he basically said that maybe, he put the question out there that possibly the team is playing subpar due to the media, and the criticism that they are facing from the media. And over this week so far, they have been laughed off, they've been mocked, they've been, those statements, I mean, from Xavi, they've been sort of pitched as an excuse, as to another one of Xavi's excuse. They kind of ridicule him. First it's the pitch, then it's the sun, the time, then it's the media. Yeah. What other excuses does he have? Now, I think in this one particularly, I think it holds more weight than, the day or time, or the state of the pitch. Maybe the state of the pitch has an influence, clearly, but it kind of got me to think how, and we've talked about this before, Kiyan, how much pressure these players are under more than ever. I mean, in the days of Di Stefano Kubala, media was hardly there, was hardly present.
It was only in print
at the games. only in print, a few. Now you have the whole social media aspect
and time delayed
in play. Exactly. Right, and time delayed, yeah, and now it's a completely different ball game, and that of course has a mental impact, especially on young players. Because let's not forget that even if Ferran Torres, who has openly admit that he is, seeing a psychiatrist and has moments of depression. I mean, same with Eric Garcia, many players. That this statement from Chavi, I think, holds weight, and I think it shouldn't be laughed off as like, here he is again looking for excuses. The team's playing shit, and it's your fault, and your time is running up, kind of thing. I don't know. How do you see this?
Everyone is facing that, though. Every big team goes through that. I mean, to chalk that up.
No, for sure. Listen, absolutely. And that goes for any team. Sorry to jump in. This is not exclusive to Barca. I do think that playing for a club like Barca, you feel there's way more pressure. I mean, we heard Orlandi on Friday talk about the pressures that Barca players are under for performing, for playing with flair. It's not just about the result, and then you live in this micro, this kind of ecosystem where even within the club itself, within the Culé fan base, the local press, the national press, and international, look, it stacks up. So it's the same for most teams, the big teams certainly, but seeing as this team is so young, many players are so young, I think the added pressure of media can most certainly have an influence on the production,
Of course. Look, the reality is that media and fans are generally merciless with that stuff, with little regard for the human element of what people go through, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is kind of related. Did you read Fede Valverde's article in the Players Tribune?
Snippets, yeah. Yeah. No, I think I mean most of it. I got a good gist of it.
So you got to the part where like the doctors told him his son was not going to make it, and the timing of that is like directly correlated with him being really out of form, and so he describes it as like the 20 hours of not playing football. He just put himself in a dark room and would cry or just sit there like and be completely alone thinking about that, and then he'd have to go on the field not wanting to really play and completely not there mentally or physically and put in a shitty performance. And then the fans would just boo him. And he couldn't really come out and publicly talk about why he's not playing well. And so he just felt like he was in this nightmare scenario. And obviously, thankfully, things worked out. And he goes on to say those 80,000 whistles later felt like 80,000 hugs. But like, you think about, you hear stories like that and you're like, man, we have no idea what's happening at home with these guys, right?
Yeah.
We never even factor that in or consider it. And quite frankly, like, we just don't know. Like, we just don't know if someone's going through something. Like, no matter how rich these guys are and how set up they are, it's not going to be easy, These people still have kids. They wake up in the middle of the night. They wake up early. They have lack of sleep, or, things are going on at home. And we saw that in the Beckham documentary too. Like, there was like no real reason for the amount of hate he got, for no reason other than basically existing and getting a red card, for example, in the World Cup. Mm-hmm. In his relationship with Posh and all this stuff, like, just like, people are just always angry with this kind of stuff, right? Yeah. And so the media is no better in that situation. So maybe, I don't know, Xavi's alluding to that part of it. Again, I didn't see him say it. Like you, I don't know the full context. I just saw that Sid Lowe had tweeted about it, saying, he just kind of brought to the attention that, the fact that Xavi was blaming the media. And I thought, like, well, listen, man, whether you're Manchester United, Barcelona or Real Madrid, the media has always been this way. And so it'll ultimately come down to, are you going to blame them, or are you going to look at yourself and see what we can control? Because ultimately that's something that Xavi has to do. He has to figure that out. I think some coaches can deal with that better than others, and maybe that's Xavi's next learning curve, because there's no way, like, the media in Barcelona has always been this way. It's nothing new. So Barcelona have had plenty of great eras in their history, irrespective of the media.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, it's become exponentially bigger, and in this particular case, shedding a light on the younger players. You see moments, for example, I really want to drill home the age aspect of it as well, because we're talking about kids. We're talking about 16, 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, where when they want to extend a hand out to an idol, a veteran, experienced player, because they didn't pass him the ball at his command and demand, and then that player proceeds to then ignore completely, turn his cheek and his shoulder to that youngster, I think that could have a grave impact. If on top of that you have, social media not on your side, if the media, local media as well, has been very critical, and you read about it every day in the paper, age is a factor, youth is a factor, and the amount of media exposure and scrutiny that these players are under are greater than, in the past, the 90s, 80s, going all the way back to Kubala's times. But that doesn't take away from the fact, and I think that, that going back to the critical aspect of being critical, even if you want the best, Xavi needs to address and needs to find a way to instill speed with the ball in this team, aggression within this team. Where's the depth? Where's the killer instinct in this team? Where's the creativity? Where's the urgency? Where's the concentration? Again, against Alaves, for crying out loud. It's like Groundhog's Day. I'm watching the Granada game all over again. In the freaking first seconds of the game, we concede again, Kiyan. How many times have I been on this podcast now when we, concede quick goals like this? And, you cannot come out as a coach and point a stinky finger at the media and say, well, it's your fault. I mean, that no cuela, right? That just doesn't stick. It doesn't fly. Yeah. No, nada.
I mean, just like, what Barcelona season doesn't have wins like this? If you guys win the league title, will you care if you didn't look perfect against Alaves?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, and there's the next element. Are we seeing an improvement, Kiyan? And that is the worrisome part. And that is what, we touched on with Andrea as well. It's like, well, are we seeing an improvement right now? I don't know. Like, and that's why I asked him. I was like, what if, do you see Xavi eating the turrones? Like, obviously he will get the Christmas. Deco's come out. He said the confidence is 200% in Xavi. I am still on the Xavi Neta bandwagon. I'm just saying, like, if we don't see an improvement in this team, the pressure will continue to mount for Xavi. And, how much will he be able to withstand the team as well? The board of the directors, like, this team at this point in time cannot win the title like this. Can't. No, last season was different.
So, like, this is some kind of like psychology thing. But anytime you're down on Barca, I come to Barca's defense, and anytime you go and praise them, I have to fight you on it. But in this case, is it as bad as you guys make it out to be? Let me just put things into perspective. What was like? I have to fully admit, I did not watch that game from start to finish. Was it on in my house? Yes, at my dad's house. I was at my dad's house with the kids. The game was on, and I was helping my dad cook. Okay, we were watching it, but not like I'm not sitting there. Every time we looked up, Barcelona were like in an attacking position. What was like the actual fundamental issue of that game that you guys were not happy with?
No, dude. There was no. This was even you saying that we were in an attacking position seems like an overstatement, to be honest.
Okay.
I felt like there was just no danger being created really this time around. Not enough, not aggressive enough, not enough thought, with the ball, off the ball. It was lacking completely in, like I said, killer instinct, creativity, just flair and a willingness, a drive to win the game, like to play football and win the game.
But you won, and Lewandowski scored a couple, right?
Yeah, scored two.
Aren't those? I mean, that's a positive to take away that Lewandowski got going a little bit. I mean, I understand the concerns that I think the problem with Lewandowski right now is that, especially the older he gets, he's just not as involved in the build-up phase. But he's there to finish the chances, right? And that's where you miss, like, for example, peak Luis Suarez. I know that's like a high standard to live up to.
To be honest, I will. Like, we don't really look for Lewandowski enough, neither. I mean, him getting frustrated in that regard is sort of understandable as well, because it does feel like, either the balls are just not getting to him.
I guess what's interesting about this, Diego, is that, like, on one hand, like, I'm saying these things. On the other hand, you can look at, this is actually like a really large sample size, because if you go back to last season, there were a ton of 1-0 wins like this, right? But ultimately, like, the results were there. It was enough to win the league. Now you can talk about the fact that Ter Stegen saved your ass a million times, but hey, man, like, as a Real Madrid fan, I can't say that Courtois didn't do that for us a million times too, especially in the Champions League.
No, for sure.
What matters always ultimately is, like, what does this team look like in the springtime or late winter? Because that's when you kind of start to see where the season is headed. Now it's a little bit too early for me, because it's very possible that this team looks way better in 2-3 months than it does now. So there's always room for that. Like, you can improve. And again, as we have said, how many injuries? I mean, Pedri's back now, but
Yeah. I just want to see an improvement, Kiyan.
Sure.
There has to be.
That's fair.
There has to be a spark at some point within this team that it all feels like we're playing in slow motion a little bit too much right now. The spark, the quickness, the flair, the drive, just add your adjective that you want, but there's a lot of work to do, and we'll see how the players come back now after the break. You talked about key players coming back from injury, all that stuff, is true, and let's hope they come back healthy. But things have to improve, man. So, yeah, sorry, go on. You wanted to say something?
No, I got nothing. I was gonna move to the conversation.
Okay. But you don't sound too thrilled with the Valencia performance then.
No, I was happy. What do you mean? No, I was happy. I mean, what did I say that made you think that?
Because you said that, like, you didn't have the ball.
I was being sarcastic, clearly.
Yeah. Hey, hold on a second. That noise has just come back. The distortion sound on your
From
end.
my end?
Yeah.
Let me unplug my mic.
Okay.
How's this?
No, that's awful. Your
It's worse?
mic is not. Your mic is no. Now it's good. Now it's good. Yeah.
Oh,
Go.
okay. How's
Yeah,
this?
perfect.
All
You're
right,
good.
cool. Thanks, listeners, for bearing with us. Yeah. No, I was being sarcastic.
Yeah.
Mind you, I don't think the first half performance was that good. Our defense has a lot of problems, but I think ticked off a lot of boxes that we were really, really praying for all season, which is we need Vinicius and Rodrigo to step up. And they were awesome against Valencia. And actually, it was their second consecutive really good game together. And I would argue Vinicius also, the Rayo game after Clasico where we dropped points and he got grilled, I thought he was encouraging in that game too. So it was fantastic in that sense. And also we had a lot of really good individual performances as well. Lunin looked great in nets. Camavinga was amazing as usual. Carvajal and Fede were doing their thing on that right flank. And it was just a really good performance from in that sense. Our defense still has issues. And Valencia had 3 key opportunities. I think they all fell to Hugo Duro, and he missed them all. Not including the penalty, which obviously Lunin saved as well. So, wait, was that? That was a different game? Remember when I told you football moves fast? Sometimes I don't know, like, I have to go look at my notes to, like, look at a basic fact. Anyway, Lunin's been good for 2 consecutive games. Hugo Duro missed 3 big chances against Real Madrid. Valencia's XG was actually higher than Real Madrid's despite losing as big of a scoreline as they did. But so anyways, my overall point is, despite the errors in what I said there, that our defense needs to improve still. So if our defense improves and we play like this offensively, that's good. And hey, like 3 games without Jude Bellingham, we talked about Jude dependencia. Those 3 games, we scored 10 goals combined and won all 3 of them. And Brahim has looked good in all 3 of those as well. So that's also encouraging. Of course, the news that really punched us in the gut was Arda Güler getting injured again, just when we thought he was coming back.
Yeah. Obviously.
Oh my God! Look at you! Can't help yourself. That's disgusting, man. You cannot put a smile on your face for a player's injury. Like
you making me smile. I did. Come on.
Unethical.
Dude, no.
Unethical.
You cannot blame a Goulet for smiling, at least. You know what's really funny as well? Before we move on to more serious topics, the whole Joao Felix situation, you know, if anything, he's been... Sorry to shift it back to Barca real quick. But you realize that Barca is going to have to negotiate Joao Felix with who? The transfer. Because obviously he's not going back to Atletico. I mean, just the other day, did you see Diego Simeone?
Well, yeah,
they asked him about
obvious.
They asked him about Joao Felix, and he's like, he's you know, the Atletico people don't like him. So I mean, he's helping.
Just closing the door,
he's helping
burning the bridge.
Completely. So he's helping us
the
there.
Bridge.
I do appreciate Diego for coming clean and knocking a few mils off of the transfer. But do you know who Barca have to negotiate the transfer with? That's the point I'm coming to. You don't know? Have you not seen the news?
His agent?
Okay, it's old news. No.
Who?
Mateo Alemán. He's since a few weeks become Atletico sporting director. You didn't.
But now he's going to give you guys freebies now.
As if. Mateo Alemán.
Come on, man. That guy is Kool-Aid through and through. Just because there was a little bit of falling out, you don't think he's going to want you guys to succeed?
Dude, he's a pro. Well, I hope on a personal level. I hope he does throw us a couple of bones, but you know, a couple of millions of bones. But
listen, man, Atletico has been doing
working for
Atletico.
Atletico hate us.
No, stop. Atletico does you guys favors every year. Every year they take Memphis off your hands. Robert. They give you Griezmann, and then they
gave us Arda Turan, like as if Arda Turan came for free. As if Arda Turan came.
Another one. Who else?
Useless.
List is endless.
Crazy.
They took Gavi Villa from you when he was
like for free. We give them these players for free. They don't even buy them from us.
Unreal. Yeah, that's gonna. My prediction is they're going to pay you to take Joao Felix. They're going to be like, "Oh, you like Joao for sure? Yeah. Here's also a parting gift. We'll give you Griezmann back if you want him to." Who else do you want?
Colchoneros don't like him.
But Griezmann, you guys would have loved Griezmann, I think, if it didn't coincide with the Messi era.
Yeah.
Good player.
Yeah.
Great player.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, it's a bit of a head scratcher. I mean, normally don't companies like sign like these non-competitive agreements or these clauses, what do they call it? These you can't just go over to the competition and start working for them.
Well, you mean in the case of Alemany?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alemany.
Alemany.
What do they call it? Like non-competitive. No, there's a Y, excuse me, at the end of his last name, but it's like it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I didn't know that. I've learned so much language things on this podcast. It's great. Mostly Catalan stuff, which is not really practical for me to use, but I've learned a few things.
It's good. It's good to know.
Well, in Joao Felix's case, though, because no one wants him, it's not going to be hard to bring him back.
What? Nobody wants him. I mean, look at him playing now. Is it like if Atletico want 80 million, Barca are not going to be able to pay for it.
Atletico are not going to ask 80 million. His stock is not that high. There's no way.
But he just also, renewed his contract.
Really?
Yeah, before coming, Atletico made him renew his contract. Literally. Because they want to cash in, man. They're like, oh, you're going to Barca, the team you always wanted to play for. They want to get you on the free in a year. No. Renew
contract
and then you
expires 2024, bro. Oh, sorry. No, it doesn't. 2029. Jesus.
Yeah,
oh, my
exactly.
God.
Long. Yeah. Yes.
What a nightmare. I mean, still, man. Like, I don't. Well, unless like he plays so well for the rest of the season, and Atletico can start saying, well, he's our player until 2029. Let's put a bidding war. Like, you start getting the Premier League clubs to start bidding too. In that case, then that's
Saudis.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, this whole Saudi thing is a game changer.
And Joao Cancelo, I mean, what, like 30? They're saying in the papers like 30 mil. Barca gonna have to spend some monies if we want to keep these boys, the Joaos.
What's the Cancelo situation? So it's
he's on loan from City.
Contract there expires 2027. City probably won't care to bring him back.
No.
Yeah, that's the thing. The thing that you guys have going for you guys, if you want to retain Cancelo and Felix, is that they seem to like it in Barcelona, and they'll have a say.
You think so?
Yeah, that'll help the case. Yeah, I mean, like they're starting, they're playing. That wasn't really happening at City and Atletico for them, respectively. So they seem to like it there.
By the way, did you? I don't want to keep throwing topics out here. What did you want to say? I don't want to throw you off of your train of thought.
Literally nothing. I would have made something up on the spot to say.
Did you see the Rubiales video?
No.
The desperate Hail Mary
What did he do? Do I want to know what he did?
It's awkward, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's an awkward one, but he's leaked or put out a video of him in the locker room before. I don't know if it's the final. I don't know if it's against Sweden. I don't know. But it's him giving the women's team a pep talk in his style, in his classic Rubiales style. And he's going like he's talking to Aitana, he's talking to Alexia, he's talking to Olga, and he's like, hey, Olga, like, answer me this question. Which team, like, ¿qué equipo tiene más ovarios? ¿Ellas o nosotros? Which team has bigger ovaries?
Yeah.
Ovaries? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I haven't seen the video.
Yeah. Olga's like, nosotras. He's like, ¿qué? Nosotras, ¿qué? Dilo alto. Nosotras. He's like, sí. Alexia, ¿qué equipo, qué tiene mejor equipo? Ellas o nosotras. Alexia, nosotras. ¿Qué? Nosotras. ¿Cómo? Like, I don't know. It's just weird.
I'm embarrassed listening to this. I didn't even see the video.
It's a weird exchange where you can just kind of feel. It's cringy. You feel the awkwardness.
That feels like it's making it worse. That doesn't sound like it's helping at all.
Yeah, I don't know what possessed him to put that out and be like, see? What?
I don't think it'll go down very well if I go to my local women's team here and ask them who has the biggest ovaries. I think I'd be put in prison right away. I don't think that's helping his case.
I think that would be very woke, if anything. I mean, here's Rubiales asking, who's got the bigger ovaries? He's like, do we have the bigger ovaries? Or do they? Look at these ovaries. Look at them. Look at this. No, those are not ovaries. Those are not ovaries. That's what he was saying. On the balcony, he was like, look at these ovaries. These ginormous ovaries. Put that away.
I haven't seen the video, but I declare Rubiales canceled forever now after hearing that.
I love it because you know that at some point in time in the Rubiales camp, whether it's himself or somebody close to him, came across that video and was like, oh, yo, dude,
this is a good idea. Let's publish this.
Dude, I got it. You're back, baby. You're back. Put this out there. And he was like, yeah. Put it out. There. I'll shut them up now.
What a weirdo, man.
It's weird. It's weird. It's a weird. You should watch the video.
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Are we watching any of the Spain games? Spain versus Georgia on Sunday. What a banger.
Oh, another banger. Baby, come down.
I'll tell you what I'm watching. Is it today? I'm all in on South America these days. I'm like Europe is like not as fun.
It is not. No?
Tomorrow, in my calendar, Argentina versus Uruguay, Colombia versus Brazil. Can't wait. You guys will be sleeping at that time.
Yeah.
So much fun. So much fun, these South American games, man. So much fun. They're just so much passion. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll catch the Spain 7-0 highlights against Georgia the day after. Carvajal crossing to Joselu for a couple goals. Gavi scoring 2 or 3.
Yeah. Well, I'll still watch it. I gotta watch it. You can count on me to watch it. Okay. I'm having a look to see who Oranje is playing. Who do we got? Nederland. Nederland, Ierland.
What's the Netherlands situation? Must win?
No, we're good. I think we're top of the Group C.
No, France. You're in Group B.
So what am I talking about? What is this? What am I being given?
You're looking at a different sport. Bullshit. You're second in Group B, tied with Greece, who has the same amount of points as you guys. France is first.
Here we go. Group B, second with France. Yes. So it's been an ugly ass qualifier so far. Not gonna lie, that win against Greece was ugly, but we need a draw. We need one more point.
Yeah.
Is that right? I think so. And it's against Ireland.
You have a game in hand.
Fourth.
That's huge.
Yeah, we have exactly. So we have to play 2 more games of these 2. If my quick maths, I think a point will do. And it's against Ireland and Gibraltar. So Gibraltar, who have lost all their games, as they do, those 5 folks. And Ireland, who have won 2, lost 5. So, hey, I'm thinking even Ronald Koeman's Oranje can get this job done. But call me a crazy-ass optimist.
Can I give you a more interesting scenario for a different team?
Please.
So Italy is third in their group, 3 points back of Ukraine with a game in hand. Their game in hand is on the 17th versus North Macedonia, which they'll probably win, although I think that's the team they lost against, right? With that last minute
Holland?
goal. Italy. I'm switching
switching
lanes here. Italy.
Yeah.
Focus here, Diego. Focus.
No, sorry. I just clicked back and I'm seeing North Macedonia, the Netherlands. But it's from June 21st.
What are you doing?
2021.
What are you
I don't know.
talking
It's
about?
Google's fucking with me right here. And I'm like, we won 3-0. All
The
right,
Netherlands
go on.
play football and they are in Group B of the Euro qualifying.
Go on. I got you.
Now,
go.
switching topic to Italy, is third in their group, 3 points behind Ukraine. And they have a game in hand. Their game in hand is against Macedonia, which they should win, which sets up Ukraine and Italy potentially tied on points on the last day, and they play against each other on November 20th. So November 20th. Pencil it in.
That's the date.
Churros.
Got it circled red.
Churros y pasta. No, pasta y tácticas. What's the churros equivalent? Red. Gelato?
North Macedonia, the Netherlands. Gotcha.
In women's volleyball 6 years ago.
Hey, some more breaking news. What did you want to know? What's pasta?
What's the churros of Italy? Is it gelato?
Yeah. It's gotta. Florentino Perez and Joan Laporta have both left the board of directors of the Spanish Football Federation. Breaking news.
I didn't know that Florentino was even on that still. I thought he pieced out. Okay. I feel very uninformed about this topic right now, but
yeah. I'm just trying to skim over it now.
Jose Felix Diaz, Laporta, and Florentino Perez have decided to leave the board of directors of the Spanish Football Federation. You know, we've been waiting for. Rubiales got canceled. Great. When's Tebas getting? Someone's got to do some digging on Tebas's private life.
Well, I would like the digging into many important people's affairs.
Laporta?
No. Not interesting enough.
If you're talking about Florentino, he's an open you won't find anything.
Yeah, exactly.
He's stainless.
We got
stainless and pure. Sent by God.
All right, he's
incorruptible.
Let's call it a day because you're gonna set me off. I recently came across something that,
Are you?
Let's leave that. Let's leave that for another pod. What are you talking about? Of course, I follow Satan. Satan is a blessing to the Kool-Aid fan base, and I would invite everybody wholeheartedly to the
Kool-Aid fan base, bro. Well,
thank you.
You actually talk about some football. Satan doesn't talk about football. He only talks about all the referee stuff. He absolutely does.
He's a great football analytic mind. He has a great footballing mind.
Okay,
he really does.
Seen it. All right. Get him on the pod. Can you get him on the pod? Do you know? Is he like? Who is like?
No, he does no collaborations whatsoever. I would love to talk to him. I really would. But he doesn't do any collaborations.
Does he work for someone or he's independent?
Independent. Yeah.
What about Zona Blaugrana? Can we get him on? He is so not biased.
I don't know Thona. So
yeah,
I do not know Thona. I mean, I know. I follow his Twitter handle, and it's fantastic. I mean, it's again information that needs to be available and out there.
I don't like that stuff. But I don't know if you. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just don't know who Thona is.
Yeah, so I don't like that kind of content, but I will say there's a creator I found, a Barca creator that I really enjoy. He's called The Purist Football. I found him on YouTube. I don't know if you come across his work. He puts some amazing tactical videos.
I did a Spaces with him.
Did you? He's awesome.
Yeah, so we were on this Spaces
I'd love
together.
to have him on the podcast.
Both speakers. Yeah. Let me look him up.
I really enjoy his tactical videos. He's on YouTube.
It's true. Is he? I didn't know about that. I just know about his Twitter.
He puts out brilliant tactical videos, breakdown of Barca's matches. That's why I enjoy it. He talks about football. Very good stuff. It's
true. I'm happy you remind me because it was a good Spaces as well. We talked about this. I don't do that enough. Yeah. We both follow each other now. Since
More
that space.
do Twitter audio spaces. The reach is insane.
Yeah.
Like I will do Twitter audio spaces. The problem with it is you can't you can't record it and then post it like as a podcast after. You can it gets posted on Twitter after, but you don't have the actual recording like a file on your computer, for example. It just gets on Twitter. That's the problem with it, but the reach is insane.
That's kind of cool as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The reach is crazy.
All right. I'm going to talk to him.
Yeah.
Let's get him on.
Bring him on.
Cool.
Could be even
all right,
like
dude, I gotta get out of here.
Before a Classico or something.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Again, Diego and I put out a killer podcast with Andrea Orlandi on Friday. Patreon.com/Churros y Tácticas. And are we back Thursday or Friday for a mailbag?
Go. Watch it.
When's next Patreon edition?
Well, yeah, tomorrow or Friday, I guess.
Is tomorrow Thursday? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, one of those days, Diego and I will post for our patrons as well. All right. Thanks, guys, for listening. Diego, good chatting.
Peace in the Middle East.